Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode of Airport CEO. The TAI International Airport is up and running. Still a lot of stuff going on over here, and if we do check this, we're still struggling with this kind of stuff. What I'm kind of tempted to do is actually just clear all passengers. Can I unoccupy all person nodes? Unoccupy all conveyor belt nodes. Let's do all of that. Can I, for instance, despawn all my passengers? Can I do that? So we started send all passengers home. Excellent. Let's send all passengers home, and then we'll see if that does anything. If it breaks it, we'll load it again. Are we sending? People are still kinda doing their own thing, right? These guys are. There seems to be a fair bit of people actually making a going for the leave. Okay, can we try hitting that button again? Send all passengers home. There we go. Anything else that we can do over here? Orphan arrival, orphan departures, all packs, baggage. Change the day state, simulate any weather. Enable debug mode for business. What does that mean? Road traffic, claim all service vehicles, whatever. Spawn aircraft, spawn vehicles, spawn staff. Send all passengers home. That's the one that I've ticked a number of times now, and there's still people sitting around. Okay, well, that's about as much as we can do from that menu, I think. If I speed things up a little bit, are we going to slowly see everybody leaving? It seems like we sent everybody out of the airport. That does look to be the part, so that's okay. The only thing that I'm wondering about is this area, unless there's a button here that I need to say actually arrival and outside of security send all passengers home, and departure and outside of security send all passengers home. If that's the case, we are pretty clear on getting everybody out, right? So hopefully it doesn't break the game. Yeah, everybody is starting to leave. It seems like we've got staff hanging out over here, so we will keep an eye on what's going on. I would love to see everybody leave and then us slowly starting up the operation again. That would really be good. I would like that. I would really like that. We've got room here to expand a fair bit, so obviously I think we're now struggling to get people into planes and so on because we've sent them all home. But I am happy that stuff is starting to happen. I hate that they do this. There's so many, just stop anywhere. I know it's not how it really works, but we'll see. Okay. Yeah, people are picking up their baggage, so it's starting to operate, kind of having a normal operation going on again. People are starting to arrive and so on. So we'll give it a bit of a go. We'll have a look here and see. Obviously, we're going to have some trouble with some of these things, and we're probably just going to need, we're probably just going to have a few that's going to leave empty and the likes. But hopefully, we're going to start seeing a little bit of a better arrangement going on now. What's happened over here? This is a franchise room. What kind of stuff can we squeeze in here? We only have the one that can actually fit. Ooh, this one can do its thing. Hilltop Cafe. Anything else? The Swift Veg? No. The Bell Beer? No. So let's do the Hilltop Cafe. We'll sign it and we'll get that opened up for business. Now there's a ton of people sitting around again. And I don't quite get the sitting around part. What are you doing? I wish to know what you're doing. Anyway, we've got people coming in. Is there a place where we're now seeing people coming in and through, right? That's we're boarding these planes. Oh, no, we're disembarking them. deboarded. So over here we're starting to see people come in. So it's about here where we now. So all of this has been affected by our little maneuver. So the thing that I would like to see is that these are actually working. What's going on here? Got people coming through security, coming through check-in. Are they getting out here, or what's the issue here? Are buses getting stuck? Well, that obviously is a bus getting stuck. Can you just move on to wherever you have to park? See, why it would spawn two that comes to the same one at the same time, there's no idea. That's just not realistic. We've got check-in happening over here, so that's pretty cool. And the question just is, in my mind, are we clearing through these things? I think it's starting to work, actually. Might not be perfect yet. See, these guys are still struggling to get 1 or 2 passengers in. We don't have issues with security. We don't have any queues anywhere. It's someone getting stuck somewhere, in my view. Hanging around, sitting, spending time at one of the shops. Maybe that could be an issue. But other than that, kind of working. Oh, I had a comment stating that I don't actually have to do the repair stand thing because my CIO does it automatically. So let's quickly have a look over here and see if there is such an operation going on somewhere. Airport control panel, that's the one I've got. The employee tasks. We seem to have enough people doing their jobs. Vehicles, we seem to be fine. Construction, we could dismiss a couple of people, I think. How many do we have deployed? Deployed contractors, 95. Let's dismiss all of them and we'll see about getting new ones in there. So that should get us a lot more money. Okay, vehicles, start vehicles. What's going on over here? That's fine. Staff, economy. Is there any way of actually understanding? Ooh, let's have a look here. Let's have a look through this data. So we've got departing aircraft decreasing. And we've got arriving aircraft. Okay, so fairly like 4 aircraft arriving. Now we've got a little bit less, and then we've got aircraft at the airport. So we can see we're getting pretty full for this time of the day. We need to start letting people depart again, you know. And then passenger data, passengers at the airport, right? So during the day we see we're getting to about 1,200. If we put this time scale into hours, that's quite interesting. If we put it into days, then we're just, yeah, that's weird. So if we go back to minutes, we can see how we're building up to it, and into hours we can see how we are dropping and building again. Okay, well that's fine. Staff data, pretty consistent in terms of hired employees. Employee workload, don't know, this isn't quite working it seems. Conveyor belt system. Per every 10 minutes, how many bags, right? Yep, there we go, a nice big boom because we had a lot of planes arrive or something. Vehicle data, not getting anything. Incident data, so now we can see some incidents going on, but we don't get, I don't know how we get the kind of reports about this because it's not working. Economy data, what is this saying? Oh, look at this, this is quite interesting. So that's the income. And that's the expenses. Look at that. That is pretty cool. And this is the funds. So that's also pretty cool. So if we scale this to say hours, why would it do that? If we scale it to days, we can see that in the course of averaging it out over 10 days, we definitely have a nice big surplus being generated. So that's our margin over there. Look at me with my business speak. But if we look it down into minutes, we can see it obviously ups and downs as per the planes taking off and things like that. If we look at the time scale here for our funds, it looks pretty good. Over the years, we don't have that. Over the days, I don't know if this is actually meaningful. Don't quite know. It's just all green. So yeah, interesting little stuff. I don't quite know where we get the where we look at the operations in terms of the maintenance. Airlines 95, general aviation nothing. Passengers loving this airport. Passengers are absolutely loving this airport. So I don't see any issues with it. Is there any things that we can look at over here potentially? No, nothing over here. Flight process monitor is this one. So that's okay, but we're still having the same issues over here. So I'm not too sure whether that can actually be cleared up. I'm liking our little airport design. We could expand it. We could, yeah, stuff like that. We could expand it, make better use of a lot of this stuff, but I'm not too sure that it's what I want to do. I'm a little over this airport now. I think I've achieved what we can achieve. We could probably stress test it a little bit more or something, but I think it's a good operation. It's working well. We're in the cash flow positives, and yeah, it's been a good little series. We've slowly grown the airport here from a very little operation here with some walkable small stands, and then we've expanded that over here. We've grown onto this side. Still some used to be walkable stands, then we started the big stands, and we've got a fairly kind of a shallow little section over here. And I found this shallow piece here, so the shallow parking area, so saying only 4 planes to park here, has resulted in us not having big issues with traffic congestion like we've had on other airports. So that works very well with this running through here. And obviously the whole operation over here is just built to be one way due to the fact that we've got the dual runway set up. In the end, we've got the arrivals runway and the departure runway, so they work quite well here. The thing that is probably fairly problematic is the fact that our vehicles are having to travel really far to get here, and I think that might be causing us some concerns. But yeah, all of this is seemingly working fairly well. This setup here is a little bit too clunky. I don't like, there's not a lot of space here. It feels a little weird that this is in between here, and so yeah, and I think, as some of you have mentioned in the comments, there you don't see this, and to be honest, you probably see this operation, you see the baggage claim on that side, that side of security, and I would agree with you. You generally do see that, but this game, for instance, if I wanted to create a baggage, where is what is that? Oh, that's just the baggage bay. Is that funny? Is that looking any different to what I'm used to? No, it's the same thing. If I go with domestic baggage claim and I do this, area cannot exist in the secure zone, and I think that's wrong. I don't, most airports it's in the secure zone. You get your baggage and then you clear out towards the general public or public access zone. So that's quite an interesting one for me. So I'm not too happy with our check-in area, and since we get this issue here, oh, it's working a little better. But since we get this issue here that we're constantly losing a passenger or two, I don't understand if it's actually my layout that's causing this problem, or whether there's some kind of bug in the pathing, or what is the issue. But yeah, something is not quite right. And then the other thing that frustrates me a little bit is all these people just kind of hanging around. I'm like, no one hangs around at the airport. You just get your stuff and get out as quickly as possible. None of this standing around stuff unless you're waiting to depart. In which case, you'd probably be on this side, not on that side. Maybe you would wait a little bit, and maybe it is the fact that we do have the cafes and the shops on this side of security that is causing people to get lost, because they shop and forget they need to get on a plane. The other thing that so then we started a little bit of a baggage operation somewhere over here and moved it over here, and it just never really worked for us, and so we had a nice big one developed over here in some area that we had available that we weren't going to use anymore. However, that is so far of a distance for these vehicles to travel to go and do that it just doesn't work. So in the next airport that I do want to get that much more central. The baggage operation I want much more central. Well, I think the next one I'll play would be Sim Airport, but I want that to be much more central so that it's much easier to connect to the various planes and things like that. So again, lots of people hanging around, sitting around, not knowing why they are still doing what they're doing over here. So yeah, that's a bit of an issue. But yeah, that's the kind of the gist of it, isn't it? That's the gist of it. Not doing general aviation. Some of you said, oh, we can't do that, whatever. I think it works well without general aviation. General aviation doesn't really bring in a lot of money, and it clogs up your stands, your runways, your taxiways. So this works very well. We're using some mods. So we've got some Ryanair flights over here, along with the standard Stripe Air type varieties. We've got, what is this, Skyfly, which is also in-game. So we've got a few Ryanairs around here, but Lufthansa has been here, British Airways was here, all these kind of things. So that's pretty cool as well. So yeah, I think I'm going to end this series here. The other thing that just before we end the series, the other thing that I want to talk about a little bit is this. I think this operation worked quite well. I've seen this game be really problematic in terms of your layout at the drop off and the pickup and so on, and I must say this one seems to work fairly well. It's two-way. Yes, this stuff is funny over here and that it blocks the road a little bit, but generally I think it works quite well. This does not work very well. I didn't try the service cars again, just because they bugged out so bad last time, so I decided not to use them in this playthrough. But yeah, in the future, after a couple of more iterations of updates, we'll come back to using service cars and the remote stands and things like that. But yeah, that's it. And we obviously it's not filled in nicely with stuff. We put some windows in because you guys complained so much about it, but other than that, we've got a few shops and not a lot more than that. But yeah, that's kind of it. So the 2 runway setup works quite well. I don't think we've ever got to a point where we need more than that. We don't have massive queues of planes not being able to get in and get out, but you do want to place this a little further away so you've got a bit of taxiway to work with. The shallow one, as I discussed, works quite well, so they don't get clogged. I didn't see a lot of issues over here, but it could be some issues. But yeah, that's it. We could expand this over here. I was also considering removing this and expanding, these fingers up here, but that would become a little bit more problematic. Not so much from the air side point of view, but from the land side point of view. The stuff over here, I don't think we can accommodate too much more. Yes, we can expand this. We can put more security stuff over here, but really, this stuff should be split over multiple levels. So I really would like to see us get multiple levels in Airport CEO. At the moment, it just doesn't feel quite right to me. So I think that's where I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it here. I will give it a couple of days break, and then I'm going to start a Sim Airport season. So just going to kind of figure out what that is going to be. But yeah, thank you so much for supporting this series. I enjoyed all your comments and your likes and your feedback and so on. It seems like you guys really like me building airports, so I will continue building airports. But what I'll do in the future is I will switch from the one to the other. So I won't be doing Airport CEO and Sim Airport at the same time. Since I've finished Airport CEO now, I'll start a Sim Airport series. At the end of that, I'll start another Airport CEO series and see how the games are progressing. At the moment, my verdict is that Sim Airport is a better game, because Airport CEO it's got a lot of bugs. It's not progressing at the kind of pace that I would like to see. The guys at Sim Airport team is doing a pretty good job at the moment at just getting new content in the game, getting new functionality and so on. So our airports are getting much more realistic. This one has been there has been improvements, but it just feels so much more the same, but yet with bugs. So I don't know, there's still a lot of work that needs to happen, but we'll keep playing this. It's good enough, it's fun enough for me. At least I enjoy it a lot, so we'll keep playing it and see how these games progress. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, thank you for all your comments and feedback and interaction with me. I've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it too, and I will see you in the next series. Bye bye.